Okay, I've started the recorder now.
Okay.
So yeah, so the first question is just when and how it all started.
Uh, so I don't know where it really started, but my first symptoms were about, gosh, June of this year, so 2019.
Hmm.
I had a real weird, like I had a pop in my left ear, and then the room spun for probably 10 seconds, and then it went away. That was all. That was in June, and then August is when it really started to kind of. I had one episode they consider meniere's like middle of August, and then
Hmm.
2 days later I had another, and then they were short. So I don't know what people know about meniere's, but it's typically there's inner ear involvement, and you get tinnitus and like vertigo, not just
Hmm.
spinning, not just feeling, it's vertigo, and it's usually lasts 20 minutes or longer. My symptoms are not quite the same. I only get about a minute, at most 5 minutes at a time of vertigo, thank God. But the
Okay.
doctor still seems to think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how it started. So where's my first symptom? My real one. Basically, what happens, my left ear kind of goes, I consider it deaf, and it kind of feels numb. It's like you ever taken a seashell and put it over your ear, or by chance taken a cup or something and just place it. It's my hearing goes like that. And then 5 to 10 seconds later is when my vertigo starts, and I have to go to the floor purposely. Luckily, I have that, uh, I guess, warning with my ear, the deafness, because I sit on the floor or else I will fall. And the room spins forever, however long, at most 5 minutes so far.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
then, well,
Are your symptoms mostly do they come still only in bursts, or do you have any kind of symptoms that you would consider almost all the time, that you're having those all the time?
the vertigo stuff. That's a burst, and that's usually once a week. After that, I always have I call it brain fog, or I
Hmm.
can't focus. I feel like the room is constantly I'm not shaking like this all the time. And some days are worse than others. Like today, I feel pretty good, but I've been doing your stuff. So besides that, I always feel nauseous. I kind of feel like I'm either car sick or hungover
Hmm.
without the fun.
Hmm. And what about do you have any headaches, for example? Is it only vertigo and inner ear issues that you have?
In the bursts,
Well,
like
in
when
general.
I do, I get headaches. I usually have them in the morning. I do have TMJ that's been confirmed, and we've got a night guard for night because I clench and I grind. So that's
Okay.
helped some too.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
that
So
headache.
okay, so the top five worst symptoms, if you could pick the five symptoms that you could magically make go away, and I'm not just mentioning Meniere's symptoms, because obviously the TMJ is it's part of this. It's really the same thing, or it could be the headaches, or really any kind of health issue that you have that you could make go away.
The top five.
Or top three, depending on how
Okay.
many you can remember.
Well, I would love for the vertigo to just never happen. I can't function when that happens, and it could happen when I'm driving, and that's scary. Um, that, and then I would like I do have dizziness in between. I feel dizzy a lot during every day. Some days, like I said, are worse than others. I would love for that to go away. So that's two. Three would be that brain fog. I'm a physical therapist by trade, and it sometimes I feel real dumb when I'm with my patient and I can't think of the word, and I know the word, just it's not there at that moment. So those are probably and then I do get nauseous. I feel nauseous most of the time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
those things.
Okay.
I
And
do have some.
so the doctors have diagnosed you with TMJ and Meniere's disease. Are there any other? Have they mentioned any other diagnosis or anything else? Not that
I'm
that is
pretty
not.
healthy. They've tested. They did an MRI and there's no tumors. in there,
Mm-hmm.
which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did a lot of blood work to see if I was having autoimmune type stuff. And I don't know how accurate those are, but they came back as everything was absolutely fine, even though I felt like I was dying, really.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay.
That's all they've said.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And in terms of treatments, I'm sure you've been doing, your physical therapy round. Anything else that you've been trying, both conventional and alternative treatments?
Oh yeah. One of the first things I did, I researched online, and the first thing they say you should do is to lower your sodium intake. So I drastically dropped it initially when I was feeling so bad down to 500 milligrams a day, which I think it worked. It helped make things not so intense. When I had the vertigo, I wasn't spinning quite so bad, but that's not really sustainable or truly healthy. My blood pressure dropped a lot. So I've slowly worked my way up to now I'm at 1500, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's more healthy. I don't know the right word.
Yeah.
But that's the first thing I did. And then I started chiropractic care because I also read somewhere that it could be my C1, C2, and I was out of alignment. I do have neck pain. I just never really paid attention to it before. And it did help some, I think, but it did not get rid of anything. I still go on what they call a maintenance basis, but sometimes it triggers my symptoms, which I don't know if that means it's doing something or that it's the wrong thing. I don't know.
Sure.
And then I'm now going to myofascial release. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
much about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's real gentle stuff. So she's doing my whole body, not
Mm-hmm.
just my neck. In fact, she started down in my low back and worked her way up, and that seems to have helped too. So I'm doing and then your stuff, the
Okay.
trigger point release, which I didn't know about to begin with, but I never thought to do it on my own. So I'm
Sure.
grateful because it's a difference
Okay.
already.
Okay. I think that's pretty much that pretty much covers what I wanted to talk about. So I'll stop the recorder.